This is how to disappear behind things in iMovie. What you just saw was the finished product. Now there are a few things that you need to do in both the filming and the editing in order to pull this trick off, so let's get right into the filming. First, let's take a look at the uncut footage. So here I enter the frame, I walk past that pole, and that pole there in the center is the one that I'm going to be disappearing behind. I walk behind it and then I do something super duper crucial here. I leave a few seconds after I've already walked out of the frame, and that's going to be super important later when we get to the editing. There are three key elements that you need when you're filming something like this. Now the first is to have a steady camera. This means put your camera on a tripod or even just on a bench somewhere. There can be no camera movement whatsoever. The next thing that you're going to need is something tall and steady, like the pole from my video. Just like in my video, this is what you're going to be disappearing behind. Ideally, you'll want the pole to extend from the top of the frame to the bottom of the frame. This is going to help you later on in the editing process. Step number 3 is very important. You need to leave a little bit of extra footage at the very end of the video after you've already walked off. This will usually be about 3 to 5 seconds long. Alright, now we're on to editing. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to bring that clip that you just barely recorded onto the timeline. Next, scroll through the timeline with your playhead and find that place where you've just barely walked off. Use Command B in order to split that. Now here we're going to do something interesting. Make sure that you highlight that second clip by clicking on it. Click Command C, then Command Z. This will make it so that we have that copied to our clipboard, but then we rejoin those two clips in order to make it continuous. You'll see why in just a second. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to drag your playhead to the very end of the timeline and you're going to want to click there. Then we click Command V in order to make that clip that we just barely deleted reappear. After that, drag your playhead backwards through the main video and find that place where you just barely stepped over that pole. Now click right there just so it holds our place, and then go back and drag that clip that we have separated at the very end, drag it up and drag it to that spot where we just barely clicked back there. Now drop it there and double click on that clip. From here we're going to see a little menu pop up over the top of this viewer. Click that drop down menu that says cutaway and then go to green/blue screen. Next, be sure that in the cleanup menu it is selected on that crop tool. Now this is an interesting part. This is one of my personal favorite parts. Think of this like you're pulling back a curtain. We have two videos on top of each other, and we're simply pulling back one of them in order to expose the one that's farther back behind it. Now take this top one here, this little dot, and drag it to line up with the edge of that pole. Do the same with the very bottom one, and just like that, we already have a pretty decent idea of what we want. Now, when you play it through, you'll see something like that, and that's really good. What I personally like to do is I like to drag the clip back just a little bit and then make it fade in. Now you can do this by simply grabbing one of the dots on the very top of that clip and pulling it inwards. That way it'll fade it from both ends. Now when we watch it back, it fades seamlessly like so. After that, go to near the end of that top clip, select Command A, and then say Command B in order to clip all of those things there. Select all the clips at the end and click delete. That's the final product. My biggest takeaway from these kinds of projects is that I should never let my tools limit me. Even though iMovie isn't necessarily made for these kinds of edits, with creativity anything is possible. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you learned something new. Thank you so much for watching.